welcome back to the channel, everybody. So today I think we're going to dig in a little deeper on this interior of the Nova. We're going to go ahead and seam seal and paint the rest of the floor pans. We're going to get that done, and we're going to have a little time lapse of that, and that is going to happen right now. And that was the time lapse. So pretty simple, straightforward. Finished product. Looks pretty good. It is actually the next day, so everything's dry to the touch. Set up real nice, actually. So basically, both pans are done, and all this back here is done. Pretty much, as you've seen in there, basically just take the caulking gun and just kind of spread it around. Then I had a little putty knife that I used, kind of evened it out, and basically let it sit for, I don't know, probably 5-10 minutes, and then I went ahead and just painted right over it. The tube said it was immediately paintable, so we painted it immediately. Turned out really good. I'm happy with it. So that's that. I probably will, before we put carpet in here, I probably will kind of finish painting the floors a little bit, especially in like these areas where there is a little bit of surface crud, I guess. We'll spray that rust converter and then paint over it before we do finish put carpet in this. And we will be putting some sound deadener in before the carpet. So that will be the future once we get some of this other stuff done. I think today we're going to kind of tackle maybe the dash pad, the package tray, and the headliner. And we're going to kind of figure out what's going to be the best plan of attack on that. I don't know. Probably the headliner should be first, but it's kind of my least exciting, or least thing I'm least excited for. So yeah, don't really want to do it, but we'll probably jump into that too. So we're gonna get going here. I'm gonna get some stuff laid out and ready, and we will see what we will tackle first. Dash pad would probably be the most rewarding job, so maybe we'll tackle that too. I know we got that sitting in there. Looks kind of involved, to be honest, but I think we should be able to do it fairly easy. So we're gonna get going. All right, so little update. Floor is dirty again. That's cool, but I'm glad that I started tearing this headliner out before I put the dash pad in, because yeah, it's pretty bad. So where I am currently at, got these A-pillars out. They're sitting on the back of the car. This windlace that goes from here, oh, by the way, it's windlace. So if you watched the last video, I was having trouble finding that word. Somebody commented, I could have Googled it, but what's the fun in that? Somebody commented, and it is in fact windlace. So that is removed here. Goes all the way down the sail panel. I did not remove that one yet, but the windlace that goes across the front is removed, as well as the rear view mirror little trim piece and the visors. They are back there. The A-pillars, I'm either gonna have to try and find some, or I will clean these up pretty good and shoot them with some of that black paint. But the top of the passenger side is pretty much rusted, gone. You don't really see that part, so if I do reuse these, it'll look fine, but it'll just be rusted. So I'll either clean these up and reuse them after I paint them, or I'll try and find some somewhere that are solid and use those. The driver's side is in fairly decent shape. It can definitely be cleaned up and painted, but passenger side, like I said, you won't see it, so it's kind of whatever, but we'll know it's there. And I don't know dashboard wise yet. I'll have to get with Dad and see what he's wanting to do. I don't know if he's kind of wanting to leave this, you know, aged look like on the glove box and stuff, or if he wants that completely sanded down and painted. In the end, it's gonna still be a driver quality car, so the outside will still be kind of patinaed. So whatever he wants to do with that, we can kind of leave it. It's not rusted or nothing, it's just kind of aged. So we might end up leaving that, we might not, I don't know. But we'll definitely paint the A-pillars up, so that way the headliner's new matches into that with the new dash pad. The old dash might just be a cool accent. But this badge we will have to try and get out of this dash pad to put in the new one. That shouldn't be a big deal. And then I don't know, we might try and find like a 3-spoke steering wheel or something. That original one's just all cracked and not the greatest, so we'll see what we're gonna do there. But that's where we're at. Let's go keep pulling this headliner out. So headliner right now is kind of zip tied to those bows, which is fine. I'm gonna have to get the dome light trim deal removed, as well as like the seatbelt holes and the rest of the windlace, obviously. And then there's one like clothes hanger spot right there. It's got a single screw in it as well. So we'll get all that stuff out and see about this headliner. So we're gonna keep going on this side real quick and I'll show you. I don't think like the top is really glued to anything up in this area, but the edges are definitely kind of glued all the way around. So I mean, there's just rust and everything up in here, so definitely glad I'm doing this first because it's pretty nasty. So go ahead and get this windlace pulled out too. Trying not to cut myself again. These B pillars are probably technically supposed to come out, but it's fine. Got our light there, so that's good enough for now. But on this side, obviously you can see it was tore back bad enough, but it was glued up here like that side was. So that's basically it there. I'm gonna have to figure out how to get these bows out, and then we should be able to get at least the first 2 or 3 down. Before we do that, I'm gonna go ahead and keep taking some trim stuff out. That way it's all ready to come down. I can just get it all out at once. Sail panels also have to come out. We do have those to replace those ones. So we're just gonna get to it. Well, so far so good. So these front 2 bows here, they got little keepers here. The bows were not in those, so they kind of came right out of that pretty easy. If you see right here and on the other side, there's 3 holes. So these were in the center holes, center forward holes. So that's where they will go, and there's a nice line, as you can see right here on both where they were. So that'll kind of be our guide to where the new ones go in. And then there was a small bow that did not go into the ends, and these little clips that held it up in there. So that'll be a nice kind of guide. One of those is broken, but it is not broken enough that it will not hold the new one, and there's 4 others, so that's fine. It looks like all of these pieces on the edges that the headliner gets glued to are replaceable. We probably will not replace them, but for any of you guys that have a car that doesn't have that, or whatever the case may be, it does look like they're replaceable or attainable if you want to go that route. These will probably just be cleaned up and re-glued too, honestly, because they don't look that bad. The front one's got a little bit of corrosion on it, but it's savable for sure. So if you'll look up in, we'll go to the other side actually because it's easier to see. If you look up in here, these bows actually slide right into that, so that's the center rear hole on that one. They slide right into that and basically go right across. These ones, so that slider there, like this, is gone for some reason or another. So we don't have that one, but that ain't no real big deal. These are the front two bows right there. So you can tell where they go in. They got that little tab that just kind of locks them up in there. And this is that little bow I was talking about. So it's coming out pretty easy. When these two came out, I just went ahead and kind of ripped it in half to get rid of the front half, so I wasn't dealing with everything. Nice little mouse house over there, and these are the dome light wires. So that's all there. I have a nice little reference right there that I can lay kind of the new, or layout based on the new headliner where that dome light's going to be, and I can cut a little X in there, pull the wires through, and then basically screw it right back up. We are missing the lens for that. I'll have to source one of those. And then I don't think that the little clothes hanger and the upper seat belt, I don't think I'm going to put those back in. I'll probably just keep the headliner smooth over those, delete those. Don't need them anyway. They're just cluttering things up. So we'll get rid of them. And yeah, I'm going to get the rest of this headliner out of here. We did go ahead and get the sail panel on this side out, and the windlace around the back window is out as well. So I'm going to get this headliner pulled the rest of the way out of here, and we will keep on keeping on. Headliner is out. So with that said, got everything cleaned up in here. Floor's clean again. So now, what I think I'm going to do since that's out, all this side and front edge, all that stuff's going to have to be cleaned up a little bit so that the glue can stick on the outsides. Honestly, I am not quite sure. I don't see how the center would get glued. I've heard that it's supposed to, but obviously it wasn't because this is fabric and it would have just pulled that out. So I think it's just the edges that get glued, which makes sense, to be honest. So that's how we're going to do that. And I'm going to have to figure out, I'm not quite sure if the sail panels go in before the headliner or after. I think they go in after. And then possibly package tray before sail panels. Don't know, but I am going to procrastinate on that because I'm not looking forward to it. And we're going to try and get this dash pad out and see kind of what we're looking at under the dash. I want to figure out if we're going to have to do any big projects in there while we're doing all this. If that's the case, I'll do all that stuff first and then put the headliner in and then the new dash pad. And then I think we're gonna possibly try and find a steering wheel for this, whether it be like a 3-spoke aftermarket deal or whatever. We'll keep this one obviously, but probably run something else just because this one's all cracked and tore up on the edges and stuff. But yeah, let's see if any of these screws will come out or if they're all going to break off and we're going to have even more fun. So hopefully they come out and we can get this dash pad out pretty easy, but we're going to find out right now. And the old dash pad is out. So ideally you're supposed to take this all the way down. Unbolted the column here, but I kind of got around that, so that's decent, I suppose. Got a couple little clips that go into there on both sides, and then there's some studs that stick through that get little nuts on the back side. Fairly easy once you know where all of that stuff is. Everything back in there honestly looks pretty decent, so we might still try and get this out. That way we can really take a look at everything, make sure everything's good wiring wise, there's nothing that we need to replace or fix while we're here. And there is the dash out. So everything looks pretty good in there, not gonna lie. Probably clean up some of these connectors just because, since we're here, but really everything looks pretty good. Probably go ahead and put all new bulbs in while we're here as well. Everything on this circuit looks pretty good. Basically it just gets all these from that one switch and then it just sends it where it needs to go, so looks pretty good. That one's still in the car, so yeah, not too shabby. But yeah, that's basically what we're dealing with. So I think I might try and get this out to you, and we'll leave it here and we'll come back. So thank you for watching, I appreciate it. We got a lot more coming on this, and we got the 2JZ Chevelle project, so that's obviously got a long way to go as well. We're getting some more parts lined up for that. That adapter should be here pretty soon. We'll get that kind of mocked in and see where we're at with making engine mounts, and then I got to do a little more research. Thought of a couple things today that might prevent us from using the factory ECU, but I think we might be able to make it work. So got to do a little bit more thinking and analyzing on that, but hopefully that will be a fairly quick project. So we're gonna keep rolling on this one because it's priority, but we do want to drive that car this year too. We want to drive them both this year, so I really want Dad to have his car this year since I was hurt last year, but I still want to drive mine too. So hopefully we'll get all this buttoned up here pretty quick. Once the interior is figured out, everything else should be pretty quick, to be honest. Slapping the motor and trans in be easy, fuel system be easy, and buttoning everything up engine wise, no big deal. So just the interior, that's one of those things, you know, you don't want to rush it. So we're gonna do it right, get the interior all nice, and everything else will come. So that stuff should be fairly easy, so we're just gonna keep on plugging away. Thanks again, guys, for watching. We'll see you very, very soon.
just the beginning.